Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, lovelies. How are you doing, earthlings on planet Earth everywhere? Again, we have a lovely sunny day here in Spain, oddly enough. Today's video is, it's complicated. Firstly, I've finally nearly caught up with a lot of the comments, and they blow my mind all the time, all of you. Your life experience, coming from all different angles. Critics, fans, everybody. Monarchists, anti-monarchists, people who are of the left persuasion, which is a broad spectrum. People who are from the right political spectrum, which again is a broad spectrum. People from all spectrums. As you all know, I am a free speech absolutist, if you like, as Elon Musk would say. There was one comment, only one in amongst thousands, that really drew my attention. As you all know, I declare myself a lefty, which is a really broad term. I'm not actually sure that I am. It depends. I mean, the left and the right seem to have moved spectrums and changed a lot. And this is not a political channel. This is about the British monarchy, the constitutional British monarchy. But one person had commented and said, because I declared I'm a lefty, they were like, fuck you then, I'm off. Wow. Well, being of the left persuasion, I've seemed to have spent the majority of the last year defending the freedom of speech for people who have opposing views to my own. So thank you very much to that person. Presumably they've gone. But how polarising is that? Oh, you're a lefty? Fuck off. Oh, you're from the right wing, you must be a Nazi. What kind of a society are we living in today? And I do blame bots and troll farms and people who manipulate us on social media. I know political parties do it in all countries. Now we have celebrities, the very rich, people who can manipulate. And that is one of my big issues with Meghan Markle. Now, there's another YouTuber that I would love you all to check out. He is a lovely guy. He's from Brighton. He's called Van Man Talks. I will put a link in the description. Hopefully, we're trying to collaborate to get a live together. I'm not sure he's left wing, actually. I've just spoken to him and he's such an interesting person. Really, really interesting person. I think he probably is left-wing persuasion. He hasn't uploaded lately because, of course, politics can become very toxic and quite bad for someone's mental health. So we're talking about collaborating on doing a live. And we have some things we agree on and some things we don't. And as you all know, I've been trying to get people who support Meghan Markle to come on a live and debate with me why they support her. Now, interestingly enough, Mark, who is the Van Man Talks, said to me I couldn't care less about her. Not interested in her. I think he said something like, I'm as interested in her as I am Sally No Shoes who lives down the road and what her opinions are. And it actually quite shocked me. Because a lot of people, I think, don't realise how dangerous politically Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have become. Now, maybe I take this a little bit too personally because, as you all know, I love Wally to bits and I have watched a 66-year-old pensioner who lives alone in Wales with her cats, bullied viciously off the internet by a man called Christopher Boozy, who stars in Meghan and Harry's Netflix docuseries. Perhaps I take it a little personally because I'm also friends with Trevor Coult, who I have seen tormented. Although he still has a channel, he's been demonetised and trolled horribly by an army of I don't know what or who is paying for it. I have seen emails that have been sent to him that have been hugely redacted. The major criticism seems to have been that both Wally and Trevor dared to critique and question Meghan Markle and her motivations. Now, Mark, who I've just spoken to, He's not he's not a monarchist. I think he's an anti-monarchist. Forgive me, Mark, if I've got that wrong, or he's just not interested in them. But I think he just is of the opinion that it's not a system he supports. And fair enough. There are anti-monarchists who are on this channel, and I welcome all your critique and your reasons why. Maybe you will show me something that hadn't occurred to me. Personally, I have always been a supporter of the monarchy and the constitutional monarchy, the fact that the monarchy is there to keep some stability and on rare occasion to step in and go, whoa, everybody, and be the neutral referee, if you like. Now, the British royal family, I believe, do have power, but they do not exercise that power. They have influence, believe me, they do. When I wrote to the late Queen about a problem that I had identified in Gibraltar, although she replied and said, there's nothing I can do, I'm a constitutional monarch, it's not my place to interfere, she did say, I will let everyone involved know that you have brought this to my attention. And that did the trick, because the politicians and her underlings, if you like, were so worried that the boss knew and was watching, suddenly their standard of behaviour was elevated. And that is why I support a constitutional monarchy. Now, they do have that power, they do have that influence, and they do not abuse it. I don't see them abusing that. I see Prince Harry and Meghan Markle abusing it. And we are coming back to a time of Charles I. That cannot be. And this YouTuber, Mark, who is a lovely guy, he's so diplomatic. He's one of the most charming YouTubers that I've come across. He'd never heard of the Aspen Institute. He didn't know funding for Better Up. He was really astonished and sort of said, wow, you really don't like this woman, do you? And I said, no, because I don't approve. And he really doesn't believe she wields any power through her titles. Now, unfortunately, that's where we've got a clash that's going on at the moment. Because no, the British monarchy shouldn't have political, it shouldn't interfere politically at all. Not one way or the other. And I know what a lot of you are going to say about Charles and the WEF. And again, I think there's good intentions there on his part, but I'm not sure he understands. But what's shocked me is that there are people who are either anti-monarchists or on the left who don't take the threat of what Harry and Meghan are doing, trying to do to silence free speech. Now, I didn't always agree with things Wally said. For example, Wally was in favour of Brexit. I was a huge Ramona. We live in Spain. We have to cross the border at Gibraltar. Believe me, it's cost our family dearly. It really has. But it's done. We accept it. But I defend Wally's right, and any of you out there that support it, I defend your right to free speech. Meghan and Harry I do not believe they defend free speech. Far, far from it. He's a guest in America at the moment, and he is involved with some pretty serious lobbyists and Christopher Boozy. And your First Amendment is your right to free speech. He's a guest, although how much longer he's going to be a guest in that country, I don't know. I know there's the issue with the visa and stuff, but there are some things Harry and Meghan do that I just don't care about. And there are other things, like I don't care if she wears black nail varnish. I really didn't care if she cradled her bump. I'm not really interested in whether she wore a moon bump or not. I do agree it was very odd, the pregnant kneecap and all that. I agree with all that. But knowing Meghan Markle, she probably was pregnant and just wore a bump on her knee for a laugh. I don't know. I really don't know. There's a lot of weirdness, and I don't know why her dad and her brother was seen at an airport. I don't know any of that. But what I do know is that they are a threat to a basic right. Now, I did a video, I think it was a year ago, where I mentioned Martin Niemöller. who wrote the following poem, of which some of you may be familiar. We have a plaque in Commonwealth Park here in Gibraltar which depicts this poem. First they came for the socialist, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one to speak for me. And that is the situation that we are looking at. Now, I know that Harry and Meghan are largely thought of as a joke, thanks to South Park, and I thank God for South Park and others. But there is still a campaign out there. Real human beings, relatively impoverished in comparison to Harry and Meghan with their 16 bathrooms, have been either demonetised or completely demoralised and thrown off the internet, driven off the internet by online bullying, by a campaign of trolls headed by Christopher Boozy, who featured on their Netflix docuseries. Now, again, Mark, who's sort of round about the left, he's not like far left, medium left, he's not quite sure, but doesn't support the monarchy, just can't see that they're a threat because it's creeping up. It is creeping up on everyone. And I still maintain that I am centre-left somewhat. In some respects, under different circumstances, I might vote the other way because it would suit the subject or the times change. I'm not one of these like, I'm hard right, I'll always vote Labour or I'll always vote Lib Dem. And I believe that a lot of division is being caused. She went on a global television programme, Global, with Oprah Winfrey, and used her power and influence to create damage. That is not a good thing. Prince Harry, who the hell is he to get involved with telling people what they can and cannot say on the internet? He's not elected. He was born into the most privileged family in the world, let's face it. Those other members, largely, they keep their mouths shut, they keep their opinions to themselves, and they try and get about their business. But not him. And what's happened is she's married into that family and she's seen the power it wields, and she's been like, why don't you guys use this power? I'm going to use this power. And they don't really know how to stop her. As far as them appearing on the balcony and stuff like that, for me it's not the end of the world, but it would just show approval for bad behaviour. It would show that someone who can get away with saying they misremembered in a court of law when all the rest of us plebs would probably go to prison for perjury, she gets away with it, and not only that, she's popped on a balcony and applauded. To me, that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Anyway, so a little bit of a sort of political video for today, but I am astonished at how a lot of people are sleepwalking into her trap. Now, us guys, we've woken up a long time ago, and more people are beginning to realise. And I think some anti-monarchists just see her as a means to an end to bring down the monarchy. Well, think about that, guys, and anybody out there who watches this video, presumably not on the subscribers list, because I know you guys pretty well now, and how liberal-minded and open-minded, and you come from all political spectrums, and I see you talking to each other in the comments with such respect and debating. But to anyone who sort of just dips in and goes, oh, well, you're a lefty, fuck off. Oh, you're a right-wing Nazi, fuck off. I would say to them, fuck off. Don't be on my channel. Unless and until you can realise that in order to have your own political beliefs, you have to accept other people may have differing opinions, and that you must respect that. And more than that, it is everyone's duty to protect each and everybody's free speech, no matter what their political persuasion is, no matter if they're a monarchist or an anti-monarchist. As always, thank you very much for listening. I have to get on with my housework. I'm sorry it's been a bit of a heavy one today.